What does Rob Harvey have to do to put himself in the frame for a contention role?
I don't think he's got any chance of getting
chance?
the job. No, and I've mentioned Brad Scott in the past. Obviously, Alistair Clarkson is now available. We'll talk about him in a minute. And Don Pike spoke again about his opportunity of coaching senior footy again.
Oh, look, it's something I'm thinking about at the moment. It's conversations sort of I'm having with my wife and myself, to be honest, about is that the next step for me? Is that the timing right for me? So it'll be in alignment, all those things, and I'll reach a decision on what it is, and whether I throw my hat in the ring, time will tell.
I think he's very much in the ring, and I think Brad Scott has a big decision to make. Interestingly, today, Craig, is the deadline for those names of members for the EGM to be called. The members are getting restless. They're threatening even going to the Consumer Commission if the board doesn't hand over, so they can work out and then call an EGM, which I believe will happen. And I think there are some contenders who'd be dubious about going to Collingwood with that unresolved.
You were strong on Mark Williams last week. Is he still?
I still think he's in contention as well.
And Alistair Clarkson is the big wild card in all of this, and he has been emphatic in his views publicly, at least, that he is staying at Hawthorn next year.
Yeah, I don't know how many times you're going to ask the question in a different sort of way or anything else, but I'm contracted till next year and I'm staying here. And there's plenty of sceptics out there that say, well, that's not going to work. They're too hard-nosed and stubborn lads, but tell me a coach that's not.
Extraordinary decision last week to do this without any form of process, Craig. And I can't remember a backlash like it against the board and the CEO, and particularly Jeff Kennett, in making this decision.
Yeah, it's been embarrassing for Jeff, I think. And it's been a masterclass from Alistair in the way that he's played it. So if you were advising him, you'd be saying, be staunch and commit publicly and emphatically, like you have, that you are there to coach next year.
So do you not believe him when he says that he'll be there next year?
No, because I believe him, but Hawthorn, I don't feel want him there, and I don't think Sam Mitchell wants him there either. And it is the money that is the issue, right? He's owed 7 figures, and Hawthorn are hoping for an appropriate...
They're trying to push him out.
Well, yeah, I think they are. I think Hawthorn are looking for an appropriate suitor, hoping an appropriate suitor emerges so they can get on with the future. And you can't really, I guess, begrudge them that. They've made the decision. They've got a monster contract they've got to honour one way or another next year, and they're hoping someone helps them with that.
I've still got Carlton in the frame, as I have all year. The footy boss, Rob McCartney, I agree with you about Sam Mitchell and their relationship. I don't think he wants him there. This is what Rob McCartney had to say about the two men.
We probably haven't sat down and had a conversation that says, OK, well, Clarko, this is how you're playing, but when I take over, this is how we're going to play. We probably haven't got to that point yet. I think you're probably right in saying they're not best mates, but I definitely wouldn't say they don't get along. They utilise each other to get the very best for themselves and the playing group. They'll make sure that this works. Don't worry about that.
I completely disagree. I don't see how it can work.
So just on that, though, you said the process. What if they knew they had their man? No, but what I'm saying, was there one for Ben Rutten and was there one for Simon Goodwin? So if you feel internally you've got the person you want, why run one for the sake of it?
Yeah, but it's a little different with Jeff, and we all love Jeff, but Jeff preaches governance. His whole criticism of the AFL and the state government and everyone in between is on governance and on process. And then he hasn't run one. I don't understand it. He's made a captain's pick on the coach. I suspect that probably would have got there. Yeah. Sam probably would have won the job on merit, but how do you know?
I mentioned Carlton before, and David Teague was also asked about the availability now on the market of Alistair Clarkson. Really interesting.
Oh, as long as they're transparent and clear with me, I'm comfortable. I understand it. To be honest, I think it'll be a year away. I think one thing Alistair's done is his integrity of his word, and he's saying he's going to fill out a year. So I think it'll be 12 months away before that happens.
He thinks it'll be 12 months away before Carlton offer.
You're laughing. He's got to be stronger, doesn't he? He's got to fight for his job, Hutchie. Has he been a bit of a pushover in this?
It was very gracious, wasn't it?
Well,
it was very respectful and a little unusual, I guess, yeah.
Very unusual.
Yeah,
so Mick Malthouse told Brett Ratton he wasn't after his job too when he left Collingwood.
I wouldn't doubt David T being a fighter, though. He's digging in for the fight to keep his...
Didn't sound like it.
But just sorry to finish this. So, Caro, you don't think... You've always said Clarko won't be there next year? Is that what
I don't believe he'll be there next year.
And Hutchie, you don't believe he'll be there next year either? No. Yep. It's untenable. And he has to be coaching somewhere else for him not to be there, or could he potentially have a year off?
No, I think it's a who blinks first, because one way or another he's getting paid the cheque next year.
But could he get paid the cheque without coaching?
Yeah, I think he could. But Hawthorn don't want to do that, do they?
No. If he took a year off, and some people think he should, then there would be a deal done. But if he went to Carlton on slightly less money, Hawthorn would have to mitigate that money and it would go into their footy department soft cap, which they wouldn't want, but it would be a better alternative for them.